We're here this evening with J. David Ress, candidate for mayor of Massillon, involved in a Democratic primary come next Tuesday, May 5th, against the incumbent mayor, Kathy Catazero Perry. First off, we'll just start off with candidate Ress giving us his background in the Massillon area and let people know in the flow of the conversation how he came to the decision of running for mayor in the Democratic primary. So give us a little, start with some background on the city of Massillon and Stark County in general, and go from there.
I'd like to thank you, Martin, to begin with, for the opportunity to talk to you and the people that read the Stark County political report. I was born in Massillon. I was raised in Massillon, a lifetime Massillonian. I'm a broadcast journalist, attended Kent State University, award-winning recipient from the Associated Press, and I work for WTAM up in Cleveland as a broadcast journalist up there. Now, being a lifetime resident of Massillon, I live and die the code of the community. I mean, it's really about community here. It's a lot of wonderful people, wonderful families, hardworking people, and we try to visualize that, kind of like doing what you do with your camera, because we have the Massillon Magazine Show, which is committed to the people of Massillon, and we air that, featuring events and activities and local places and local faces around town. In doing so, I had the opportunity to cover city government for close to 10 years now. Prior to Massillon Magazine, it was Community News Watch, and this was towards the end of the Chicken-Elling administration, and then crossing over into the Catazero Perry administration. In doing so, I had the opportunity to really learn about the legislative process and to learn how the administration and the legislators get along or don't get along, depending on the issues that they're faced with. I've also had the opportunity and a privilege to come to know the city council members, some past and all present, quite well, to have a great opportunity to interact with them, to dialogue with them, to learn, to watch, to see how they deal with the issues of the city. And I've come to the conclusion that the city council in Massillon, in my opinion, probably anywhere, is a group of men and women who are civic and business leaders, very intelligent men and women. They're not here because of any other loyalties to any special interests. I really, truly believe that. They're really here on behalf of the people of Massillon. They're here because they care. And I think we have one of the best city councils in this part of the state. That being said, on the other end of the ticket, there's some real challenges that they've been up against with our current administration.
Now, what is the program that you are running on, and you have main items that you're promoting that will be a change from the current administration to a race administration? So would you go ahead and spell those tenets out, please?
Well, I'm running as a Democrat. I've always been a Democrat. I'm a tried and true Democrat.
Now that's a little bit of a controversy between yourself and the mayor, isn't it?
It is. And actually, I want to probably, if anything, extend a thank you to her for making me realize this, and I think this is a lesson for voters. I am a first-time candidate. I've never run for an office before, and I'm doing it because I love the people of Massillon. And I see a lot of discredit and things of that nature happening to the people of Massillon from this administration. But I will thank her because she did an attack ad against me, saying that I'm not a registered Democrat. And you know what? I found out I'm not. And I think thousands of other voters may need to take a lesson from J. David Ress, and that's the fact that I vote religiously in all of the general elections. I've never voted in a primary. I have nothing against it, but I've always been a general election voter. I didn't know, and a lot of voters don't know, that if you don't vote in the primary, you lose your party affiliation. You become a nonpartisan voter. I didn't know that. So I thank Mrs. Catazero Perry for bringing that to my attention. Does it affect my loyalties as a Democrat? No. Does it have anything to do with my commitment to the people of Massillon? Not at all. When I go to vote on Tuesday, I will officially be re-registered as a Democrat. And I will always, from this point forward, know, not only as a voter but as a candidate, you have to vote in the primary. We have maybe 3,000 people that might vote in the primary, and probably closer to 20,000 people that vote in the general. So there's thousands of people that don't vote in the primary that need to do that to protect their party affiliation.
Well, do you have an explanation as to why you were just a general election voter up until this election?
No, as a matter of fact, Massillon Magazine got behind the big forum a couple of years back. One of the, and that might have been the year when we had a big forum at the Lincoln Theater with Mrs. Catazero Perry, Mr. Cicconelli, Mr. Brunkart, and Mr. Ozer. They were all on the primary ticket, and I was moving, and I didn't re-register my name, so that was that year. And then for other reasons, I think I was under the assumption if there's any major issues or any major elections, they have to go through the general. So that's why I thought, and I think many voters do too, that if it's something important, we'll vote in the general. And I did have a conversation with one of the directors about the Board of Elections this very morning, as a matter of fact, about this, because I wasn't aware of this. And I said, and he said, you should vote in every primary. And I said, you are correct, and I am guilty of not doing that, thinking that whatever is going on in the May primary is going to go on in November, as a lot of voters think that as well. And that is not the case.
Okay, so you see it as a silver lining, the mayor bringing up the fact that you haven't voted in primaries.
Yeah, so that little attack thing gives me the opportunity to go in front of the people of Massillon or anybody in Stark County and the state of Ohio, because every state's different when it comes to recertifying or protecting your party loyalty. Every state is different. And most voters don't know. They don't have the knowledge. So this is an opportunity to give them that.
Okay, I interrupted you as you were about to spell out your basic platform and summarize it as much as you can so that, what's the voters' appetite to follow up with you with more detail. So if you would present your platform in an outline type way.
Well, I think the biggest issue right now that's concerning me is the division with City Council and the mayor. This division is so big you can drive a truck through it, and I've already been quoted saying that. And that's a problem. Primarily, that's a problem for the people of Massillon, because you can't move forward if you can't work together. And they haven't been able to work together. We're talking about a 9-member body of men and women that are very intelligent men and women that have constantly been roadblocked by the current administration on many issues. And you can't take a city and move it forward unless you have the ability to sit down and work together. The only thing I've seen from this administration is manipulation and bullying. You can't do anything like that. My first step would be to diminish the division within City Council. The first step to do that is common mutual respect, working together as partners, because we all know the goal is to serve the people of Massillon. So that's number one, is to eliminate the division. Number two is we have to look at ways of increasing the bottom line in Massillon. If you look at Massillon as a business, we haven't had an income tax increase in Massillon since 1976. And I'm totally open to looking at that, because if Massillon were a business, if you don't increase your product costs from 1976 to 2015, you're going to be out of business. That's the bottom line. So I think an income tax is something, and it's a small income tax. I would unify and partner with the City Council in promoting the information about that to the people of Massillon for their consideration in the November election. Okay. I think that's a big issue. We need revenue. Other cost-cutting measures, I think some of the things that are on the table, one right now City Council is mulling over is looking at the possibility of cutting the salaries of elected officials. Well, I've actually made the suggestion to City Council, if I'm elected, I would actually, the salary, I believe, for the mayor is like 71,000. I would return at least 10% of that back to the city, if need be. I have no problem with that. And I also think that the administrative support staff within her office right now is way too high. If you look at the private enterprise, I think there should be a cap. That cap would probably be, in my opinion, to start right around 30,000 for administrative support, and it's way over that right now. I think that's too much, as they call pork. Other things I would look at, cost-cutting measures, could you split the safety and service directors and make them 2 part-time positions? That's something I would look at as a possibility. I'm not saying that could be done. I don't know, but it was done at one time in Massillon's history. That would save money when it comes to benefits, because they'd be 2 part-time positions. You have to make deep cuts. So if you do a combined deep cuts to show that we're sincere at City Hall, and then you put those cuts out there so that people can see that, perhaps they would support our efforts to bring together a small income tax. The bigger thing is being able to bring business into Massillon. So that's my next step, is the My Massillon initiative. The idea behind that is we don't have a marketing plan for our city, because this city's too busy being involved with political infighting with its mayor. You're not going to get anywhere if you keep fighting. When you come together, you can start creating a lot of things. And the My Massillon initiative that I would propose to them would be a citywide marketing plan that would incorporate several different organizations. Organizations like the Downtown Massillon Association, which I'm on the board of directors for that. Organizations like the Chamber of Commerce and the city, and also invite other corporate business leaders from the corporate community, from some of the companies here in Massillon. Have them come together as one team, a committee, and create a strong arm marketing plan for our city. And then go shopping. There's a lot of regional entities out there that might have an interest in coming to Massillon and see what we have to offer. We don't do that. We don't go get it. I want to go get it. And I think that helps the tax base.
Anything else that your proactive mode that J. David Russ is all about in terms of being mayor of Massillon?
Yeah, there's the structure as far as the city itself. We have the beautiful stadium park down here, and I'd like to propose, and this is on my website at restformayor.com, I would like to promote the idea of bringing together a group of people and kind of redoing the stadium park. We have a wonderful amphitheater down there, and we've got the hills that people can sit on and relax. I envision a smaller portion of a Blossom Music Center down there, and to be able to attract a hospitality and entertainment business. Maybe perhaps move the downtown concerts out there. I see that. Other things I'd like to see is obviously one of the big complaints that we're constantly dealing with, and we're not the only one, are the streets and highways. The deplorable conditions, the foundations.
Yeah, what are you going to do about the potholes?
Well, the Mother Nature's really slapped us around in the last couple of years in this part of the country. I would like to propose the idea of what's called a community coalition. There's other cities that are facing the same problem. Now, Canton's a little different because I believe they have casino tax money, support from that. Massillon, the smaller communities don't, because the top 8 cities get casino support. We don't. So I would like to create a community coalition that would actually engage a large, strong voice on behalf of cities our size, and go to Columbus. And these would be communities like Alliance, Barberton, Massillon, Medina, because they're all facing the same problems. I would like to get their business and civic leaders, political leaders, to come together as, again, one group, a lobbyist group, that is the voice for the small communities. Because we know that the current administration in Columbus balanced their budget on the backs of the small community. A lot of the dollars that went for small communities are gone. So I want to go and challenge them with this community coalition and say, we need some of these dollars back for our town. You're taking that money away from our people. And then to add to that is you're not only creating a strong voice with this coalition, but you're also creating interaction with other communities. So there could be other issues or problems or things that they're challenged with and they're working through that maybe we don't know about, and they can share those ideas with us and us with them. That's the idea behind the community coalition.
But in terms of the condition of the roads, and I understand that there's just general deterioration. Some roads are just crumbling, and the potholes. And your plan sounds
it's more
very good in terms of the long term.
Long term, yeah.
Yeah, but how about people are baying at council now to take care of my street now? So is it J. David Russ administration going to be providing the same answers that the Catazero Perry administration is, or are you going to be able to find a way to make immediate fixes?
Well, you know what? The J. David Russ administration is probably in line with Cleveland and Akron and Massillon and Canton. You know, every city is facing with the same answer. And if somebody had the answer, they would probably be president of the United States, because nobody has an answer how to fix the potholes. There's a lot of big stories in Cleveland. Again, I think it goes back to the state needs to free up some emergency dollars for funding. Now, the state needs to do that because we need the help. Pertaining to where are we going to draw the local monies? Well, again, that goes back to the income tax increase that we're going to propose to the people of Massillon by City Council, which, again, I'm 100% in agreement with, because 1% of that income tax would go towards the maintenance of streets and highways. And the other 1%, I believe, would go, I don't have the breakdown.
Well, actually, I think it's 1/10 of a
1/10 of a percent,
right.
yes. Yeah, I don't have the numbers in front of me,
Right.
because it's a 0.2%
Right.
Proposed increase.
Right.
But half of that, approximately, would go to streets and highways. The other half would go to general fund. Therefore, a lot of these streets could be repaired based on the approval or support of such an income tax increase. Now, there hasn't been much support from the current administration over past efforts to do this. And I think she slapped Massillon in the face. There's a lot of people that think, well, we don't need the money. Well, we do, because like I mentioned earlier in our conversation, we haven't changed anything in Massillon since 1976. You got to do something. Something's got to give. In the words of several council members, well, you need revenue. And this would also, the other interesting part is, and council has discussed this, and I support it, is that 0.1% would be earmarked. So you can't use it for anything but streets and highways. So that would be a big issue.
Now, you were at the work session of council tonight. The mayor seemed to be playing nice with council.
Yeah, she did. Because
which is a little bit at odds with what you said earlier in our conversation, which the Stark County Political Report agrees with. In the past, there's been a lot of fighting between the mayor and council. Maybe she's turned over a new leaf.
No, this is election year. We're a week away from the elections. Any FaceTime our mayor's going to get, she's going to be a Miss Nice Lady. I personally know that this mayor has prohibited her department heads from talking to city council directly. That's a problem. This mayor is a special interest mayor that does not have the interest of people of Massillon at her heart. She uses Massillon as a political stepping stone, and that, sir, is a slap in the face to me and the people of Massillon.
Special interest, Mayor, what do you mean in terms of specifics?
Primarily to maybe the hierarchy of a very turbulent Democratic Party, I think there. She also has other people I think she's loyal to before she's loyal to the people of Massillon. I don't want to get into that, but I think people know who the big regime is in Western Stark County, and she's basically loyal to them before she's loyal to the people of Massillon.
Well, is J. David Russ going to be his own person as mayor of Massillon?
I got one thing in my closet, and that's integrity. I got nothing else. I'm Joe Public. I've talked to you about being Joe Public. I am Joe Public. I have no loyalties. As a matter of fact, in the most recent interview, although I'm Democrat at heart, the Democratic Party says, well, how come you didn't come and talk to the head of the Democratic Party? Well, I didn't know I had to do that. Well, we don't know who you are. Well, I'm J. David Ress, and I'm here on behalf of the people of Massillon.
Is this Chairman Geovasis?
Yes. I haven't had any personal conversations. I haven't had an opportunity to meet the gentleman. But people tell me, and I don't know, people tell me if I would have spoke with him, he probably would advise strongly, don't run against Mrs. Catazero Perry. So I don't know if he really would have said that. I have no idea. But I'm not loyal to the Democratic Party. I'm loyal to the people of Massillon. That's why I'm out here today. Win or loss, I'm always going to be loyal to the people of Massillon because I stand behind even my television show with Massillon Magazine. It makes barely 2 nickels. It's not about money. It's about the people of Massillon.
You've been out in the community contacting the folks that you think are going to be voting next Tuesday. What kind of reception are you getting?
Everybody I talk to is very supportive of what I'm trying to do and very supportive of my philosophy of, again, I'm not a politician. I'm a community guy. There's a big difference. I'm not a political guy. I think that, do I have all the answers? No mayor does. If he or she says they do, they're lying right to your face. If I get elected, I'm going to work as hard as I can to surround myself with really good people that are knowledgeable and experienced with their individual crafts that would work within the administration. And then working with people. But listening to people, there is such a division. My joke has been, this race is already over, Martin. And it's got nothing to do with me. This is an opportunity for people to get to know me a little bit better. But the division is so crystal clear with Catazero Perry lovers and Catazero Perry haters. And there's no gray area. You either don't like this person or you do like this person. And that's it. And I don't think it's got a whole lot to do with who J. David Ress is. I'm either going to win or lose this vote based primarily on the love or hate for the current administration.
Was there going to be a debate between J. David Ress and Kathy Catazero Perry between now and next Tuesday?
No, it will not happen because I've approached her several different times, and several different times once we got a no and other times there was no response. I would love to debate her in front of the people of Massillon. She won't do it. I've tried to use the newspaper to say I would like to debate her. They won't respond because we have feelings that the newspaper is very loyal to her. We've seen things that lead us to think that. Now, if they want to tell me I'm wrong about that, that's fine. But in my business, what I had to do was, as a broadcast journalist, in broadcasting, I had to take a leave of absence because the FCC Code of Regulations state that you can't. It's an equal time thing, and so I had to take a break. So I'm losing money from my regular job. I'm not collecting an income from that to be able to run for mayor, and that's hard on me. But I do it because I love the people and I want to see what happens. The print side of it, I don't think there's any laws that regulate that you have to provide equal time or equal coverage to a candidate. Ethically, there should be, but I don't know where that's at. And sadly, now they've covered some stories. There has been stories, but they have a thing in the newspaper called the Speak Your Mind where people can call in and leave opinions. They don't ask them to write their names or say their names or their numbers, so we don't know if they're true or not. And there's always bickering and fighting going on in that. And I've actually used that to go to the newspaper and say, well, I am J. David Ress, hello, and I would like to challenge the mayor to a debate in front of the people of Massillon. Hello, here I am. Will you publicly make that announcement that I'd like to do that? They never responded.
Well, what's your expectation for next Tuesday?
I think it'll be a low turnout vote-wise. I don't know. I really don't know. I know that I've never done this before. I'm the new kid on the block. And being Joe Public, from the people I'm hearing, again, it's a love-hate relationship. It's really about her, how much you love her or hate her. And then I'm the secondary guy, but I want to let people know if they choose a secondary guy, they've made the best choice of of the election, because I am the guy that really does.
So you
things.
would classify yourself as the underdog?
Oh yeah, I'm an underdog. I don't know where I'm at today. I was really the underdog in the beginning, but from what I'm understanding and hearing out on the streets, things got a little tighter.
So you could be the political surprise of 2015
I could be. I do know
elections?
this, that she's got about $30,000 in her coffers as far as the political coffers goes, and I think you're doing some features on that now, campaign financing. And I think she spent about a little over $10,000 on this campaign against me, and I think I was lucky to get, I don't know, maybe $1,200, maybe $1,500, because I go out and talk to the people, face to face, hand to hand, shake their hand, look in their eye, talk to them about what it's about, listen to them, listen to their concerns.